from Wrestling Merchandise and Memories. That's merchandiseandmemories.com. I'm here in Bulldog's basement where literally, a couple of minutes ago, I heard the awful news that Hulk Hogan has passed away. And just to, quite honestly, just to help me get through this, I'm just going to look around at some of the different figures I have displayed of the Hulkster, starting with, this is probably one of my favorite ones, just because it's the iconic look of him tearing the shirt with the WWF Championship. But it should go without saying that Hulk Hogan was part of the soundtrack and the visuals of my childhood growing up. Um, I I started watching wrestling literally the day after the first WrestleMania because there was such a buzz in the schoolyard about WrestleMania, and I started watching it. And obviously Hulk Hogan was a big part of that, and continued to be the big part of that for many years after. So I'm just sort of searching around here for different Hulksters. I'm sure I'm not going to be able to capture all the ones I have. Actually, there's a video on this page of the top 50 Hulk Hogan figures. Not that I'm trying to get a cheap plug in here right now, but I do have that ranking as well. Let's see, do we have any of him in the 90s? But yeah, I remember as a kid renting the VHS videos of the Hulkster, and just sort of looking for figures here. Here's one. And yeah, it was like one of these things where it just inspired me. Watching him take on the Iron Sheik and Paul Orndorff and Randy Savage. Actually, my first live event was called the Big Event, or Wrestling Hulkamania Night, I think, at that time. And we're at Toronto's Exhibition Stadium. He took on Paul Orndorff. And sorry, I'm just not sure what I'm doing here. This is the form that my grief is taking, looking at different Hulk Hogan figures. These are the original San Francisco toy makers ones from the early to mid 1990s. And yeah, I'm gonna look for some Ultimate Edition Hulksters here as well. Yeah, I remember him, on Saturday Night's Main Event, where he was taking on people like Terry Funk and King Kong Bundy. King Kong Bundy was one of my all-time favorites, so I kind of cheered for Bundy in that one. But Andre the Giant and all of these names. I mean, just like I said, it was just a big part of my childhood. Here's one. I actually purchased this 2 weeks ago, last week, when I was in the United States. I saw this one, the Hollywood Hogan Ultimate Edition. I knew I had to have it. So there's that one, which I'm sure we'll make a future Bulldogs unboxings. And this is another Ultimate Edition that I had yet to open. Just the sort of classic Hulkamania look with the torn headband and the old school championship before they invented the winged eagle. So I got that one there. I'm sorry, this is probably not the most coherent video ever, but it's just like I'm going through this right now. I know I have other Hulk Hogans as well somewhere. Here's his WrestleMania #1 Ultimate Edition figure with the Mr. T when they teamed up. There's a really good Hollywood Hogan Ultimate Edition, and then this is from WrestleMania 9. When he regained the championship when he defeated Yokozuna. As I'm sort of going around my room here and looking at different Hulk Hogan figures, just remembering the Hulkster here, and would love to get anyone's memories, anyone's thoughts. I see here someone has written, still got his Hulk Hogan rubber figure from way back in the day. Yeah, absolutely. So I had the original sort of anorexic Hulk Hogan, and then the collector's edition, the red shirt one, which was redone in the Coliseum collection, Ultimate Edition. That's the actual I'll see if I can find it in a few minutes, but that was the one that really my favorite Hulk Hogan figure of all time. If you look at the top 50 pack that he's got, and yeah, I'm gonna look around for some more Hulkster figures here as we go along. This is just like I said, I'm gutted right now. I'm gonna be very, very honest. So we're gonna move to the retros right now, but would love to hear anybody's thoughts on it. This is the NWO retro, which I thought was an excellent, excellent figure. And then right in front of him, you've got the again the like WrestleMania 1 kind of look. And what? Oh, the VHS tape was actually, it wasn't a VHS tape. I'll go back to it in a second. It was an Ultimate Edition 2-pack. So you can see, kind of, it's Hulk Hogan and Zeus in that. So that's what it was. Anyway, so we'll go back to some of the retro figures and things of that nature. Yeah, and then this is one of the more recent ones, the No Holds Barred kind of tribute. So we've got that, and then those are the three retro Hogan retros they've come out for. But then there was also, if I can get the light to work here, there were also his Hasbro figures, and these were, you know, among some of the most popular. So there's this. I think this was the first one that came out, and yeah, he did like a bear hug type action. This one here, I got semi recently, and I really like this one, just because it's kind of a different look. I think he does this Hulkaplex suplex there. I've got another. I don't want to collapse my Hasbro collection as I'm talking here. I've gone through enough here today. But you can see there's that one there, not my favorite Hulkster. And then there's also another one where he's just without his shirt, and you know, not too much to it. And then I'm gonna move on to the Toy Biz figures from WCW. I was just looking at this the other day. So you've got the Hulkster here in his Hulkster car. I remember I was in a flea market with my daughter. This is about 7 or 8 years ago, and I saw this car and I didn't know what it was from. It's a WCW Toy Biz. My daughter said, "You need to buy this. Buy it." And it's okay, fine. And then, you know, it's a big part of my Toy Biz collection. Yeah, and in terms of the question here, that did it come with a tape? No, it just came with the two figures, Hulk Hogan and Zeus, and then some Ultimate Edition features. So we've got this one, which is kind of a lazy repaint. Once he turned good in WCW towards the end of his run, like 1999, 2000, something like that. They just changed him back to the red and yellow, but it's obvious, you know, like they kind of repainted it from these NWO ones. I always like the Toy Biz versions of Hogan. This one here in particular that I'm about to point to, it actually came with a whole, like a film, like a director's chair and a megaphone and these like feather boas, and it was really, really cool. But yeah, there were quite a few Toy Biz figures. I've got most of the Toy Biz figures, but not all of them. But just I love the idea that Hulk's in his own little car here with Eric Bischoff just hanging on as he does. I can only imagine what people like Eric Bischoff, who are friends of the Hulkster, are thinking about this right now. Yeah. So I'm just going to move over here for a second. Apologies for the quality of Bulldog's basement today. I was actually just doing some moving around. And this is the master. No, sorry. This is the Masters of the WWE Universe set. I don't have a Hogan for that, unfortunately. But these are the Superstars figures. So this is sort of the classic Hulkamania in his red jumpsuit. I love that one a lot, and even the Hulkster headband. I don't know if I can focus on it. And then you've got this old school Hulk Hogan that came out with the Superstars line with the sort of the mushroom hair. Cloud, and then there was an alternate version of it. Sorry if I'm sort of randomly pausing here. I'm getting so many messages from friends and family and things like that. Hogan was just a huge part of my life, as you can tell here. Um, and then there's also the Hollywood Hulk Hogan, which was the first WWE Superstars figure. And yeah, so there's those ones there. I'm just trying to think. Do I have any other? This one here. This is a mystery mini of Hulk Hogan. So I got that. And I mean, I have other Hogan figures, but those are the sort of main ones in my collection. Would love to know what people think of the Hulkster. I know, the last few years were not especially kind to him, especially just as his politics and things of that nature, did not the real person behind the character. But he was such a huge influence on my life that it's hard not to think of him in pretty fond terms right now. Um, and I'm just started reading some of the other messages here. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, Hulk Hogan was obviously just such an iconic figure, and I'm just gonna go back and look at some more Hogan figs here. Um, I know that this doesn't make for a very compelling video right now, but I'm just so gutted by this. It's just really just such sad news. He was, I mean, without Hulk Hogan, we wouldn't be watching wrestling. We wouldn't be fans. It's that simple. He was that influential. So I think, so many, as the tributes I'm sure are going to start pouring in any minute. They probably already have. Um, he's just such a huge influence on what we watch. And I'm not very eloquent right now. Like I said, I'm absolutely in mourning right now. Um, but yeah, Hulk Hogan, certainly I'm gonna be watching some DVDs and things like that tonight. I guarantee you. Um, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm definitely gonna have more to say when I can get my thoughts gathered. But please do check out this channel. We've got lots and lots of Hulk Hogan content on here. We did the just recently. I reposted the top 50 Hulk Hogan rivalries. There's the top 50 Hulk Hogan action figures. There's his Twisted Themes, Real American theme song, and just so much else. Unboxings of some of these figures I've been showing today. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts about the Hulkster. And like I said, once I've had a minute to just sort of think more about this, I'm sure I'm going to have more to say. Check out merchandiseandmemories.com. Check out this channel, and rest in peace, Hulk Hogan.